Got through all the committee budget stuff fine.
Worked okay there.
We had several folks online originally. Folks, we'll give it a few more moments there.
It's back on now
Okay.
for
Yeah,
me.
we're trying to get everyone that was on Zoom back on. It just dropped for whatever.
Yeah.
reason.
Well, must be the gremlins.
Did we have very many more? I thought I saw Pat and
Is still having a time connecting, so if that's the case, I can help.
okay.
You had
Okay,
Pat
so-
and Carolyn.
So we'll restart item 4 here. Again, the state has gone into special session. We have no idea what the impact is going to be on our budget, especially our property tax revenues. That is a significant portion of our revenues. And because we have absolutely no idea what the impact may be and or how long it may take, we're proposing that staff basically take round up the Colorado Springs CPI, which is sitting about 3.8% now, and basically make our initial budget that we're required to have by the end of December. Just basically take a 4% across the board. And then what we'll do is once the state is through doing whatever they're going to do, we'll probably have to amend our budget to try to have what we would normally have if things had not gone into special. We may temporarily plan on trying to have that by March. So I think that's the proposal that we're gonna try to proceed forward with, is basically gonna take 2023's budget and just implement it across the board 4%. I think that's pretty safe from especially language that was in HH originally. And then once they get through trying to do whatever they're gonna do, we'll have to ascertain how much the impact that has on our revenues, and then put what I would call our for real budget together and hopefully have it ready by March. The other thing I'd like to report, the FEMA activity has gone very well. It's a whole lot of work because you have to take what we do and you have to convert it into things that FEMA will accept, and also the Office of Management and Budget, because all the forms that we fill out are Office of Management and Budget forms, which are federal forms. And it's not that easy to try to convert real world work into things that the OMB will actually accept. I've had lots of experience doing it. We have another meeting yet with the damage repair folks tomorrow. Thursday, we are meeting with the folks to actually start looking at what they call either 404 or 406 mitigation. And that's where I'm kind of hoping we can get a lot of culvert work done, but we'll see. Originally we we're kind of hoping to get 25 to 30 grand. And I think our latest dollar amount value is probably up around 135 roughly. And that doesn't include everything. And so it's basically, it's a significant amount of money for us. And as long as everything goes smoothly and it's auditable and folks are okay with what we're doing, should be a real shot in the arm for the community. So I'm happy to report that. And that's all I have right now for reporting, unless I've forgotten something that someone needs to remind me of. And with that, we'll move on. Our next item is our staff reports.
Dustin McLean, Public Works Department. Just here to give a quick rundown of the month of October. We started the month out with a pretty successful mag chloride application. Got most of all the steep roads, everything on the shady side of the hills done. Did about 22,000 gallons of water ahead of 12,000 gallons of mag chloride over 3 days. And turned out to be pretty successful application this year. We also got about 500 tons of road base stocked up at the yard the beginning of October as well. We'll be sitting on that until probably springtime. We got our sprinkler systems at the gazebo park winterized along with our composting toilets. Got our shop kind of cleaned up and organized from the busy summer season. New tires put on, the newer plow truck, which will make a big difference this summer or this winter. Got our sanders and plows installed on the plow trucks. Did a kind of once over, and we're gonna kind of go over them a little bit more this month, get them really ready. Got a slash pile left over from chipper day. We managed to knock out with the county chipper, which worked out really well. And weekly trash pickup with all the bear-proof containers. And that pretty much rounds out the month of October for us.
Trustees, any questions, comments? Thanks, Dusty.
Yep.
Next.
Sorry, somebody's talking in my ear. Sean Goings, Marshal for Green Mountain Falls. We had 40 calls for service this year or this month, last month. It was a little bit slower, but not really, because I've hired 2 reserve deputies, putting my crew at full staff. So that's a good report for me. Our reserve, we had 106 reserve hours this last month between the 3 of them. So a really good turnout, and my appreciation to my reserves, one of which will be getting sworn in tonight. We had assisted the other agencies assist us 4 times. We assisted other agencies 3 times. All government reporting is completed, and that's where we're at. Everything's going swimmingly so far. I probably just jinxed it, but
Don't jinx it.
don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it.
Questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, up next.
I have a quick thing to announce. The town of Green Mountain Falls will be holding an election, April 2nd coming up here. And in preparation for that, we're going to hold a town hall at 6 o'clock on December 4th. It's on our website. I have a flyer. It's a new candidate orientation. So if you're interested in running for the Board of Trustees, that would be a good place to start.
Or mayor. That position's open too. Okay, next.
Just one quick thing from my desk. We have been asked to host a community outreach event from El Paso County Department of Economic Development. This is specifically from their Community Development Block Grant department. That, of course, is the pool of funding that has helped to support the ADA accessibility projects at Gazebo Lake. This will be on Friday, December 15th at 2 p.m. And the topics that you can expect to hear about or learn about there are, again, those community development block grants, fair housing. There will be an opportunity to discuss our local community needs, And we will have special guests from the Manitou Art Center who will brief us on their makerspace. All the trustees have flyers for these two upcoming events in front of them. They are on the town's website and we have public copies available here,
And it's here in Town Hall.
here in Town Hall.
Okay, that should complete our staff reports. Moving on, the public comment, item number 5, do we have members of the public that wish to comment? 3 minutes per speaker.
I don't have anyone scheduled. Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah, if you would state your name and address and
Hi, Lisa Bonwell, 10691 Illinois Avenue, Green Mountain Falls. So I just wanted to address the board today and staff and the group about some thoughts that I've had. And the first one kind of about how our committees and civic organization is being run and ways to improve it. First thing I'd like to bring up is I would like to suggest that the board has a treasurer's report every month. It might be helpful so that everybody would, folks that do tune in, interested parties could keep up in a different way, like what's being spent, projects and different things. And I think that might be helpful just to keep everybody informed and more open. So I think it would be for the optics, I think it would be better. And for most boards that I've ever been on, I mean, there's always a treasurer's report. So I don't know. Seems like a monthly thing that would be appropriate. The second thing I'd like to talk about is concerns about our town government in general. It doesn't seem to be representative government. I feel like our constituents, your constituents, the town people, don't have an opportunity to express their thoughts and opinions appropriately. We're able to speak at the beginning of the meeting, but after we hear everything that's gone on, I usually always have opinions or thoughts about what's been brought up. And I think it would be valuable for you guys to hear what we're thinking and have maybe a public session at the end, 10 minutes at the end instead of at the beginning of the meeting. Because you don't always act on what we may make a comment, but it's not germane to what is on your agenda necessarily. So just a thought, I think it would be valuable, make us feel a little bit better heard. And then the third thing is I'd like to advocate for leadership training for all of our boards and civic committees that we have in town. We all put in a lot of time, and I think we come from different backgrounds, and if we could improve our professionalism, I think it would be really valuable. We'd be more efficient, and I think it would be progressive. So anyway, those are the 3 things I'd like to share with you tonight. Thank you.
okay. Interesting about the public speaking. We have bounced back and forth. We've had it before, we've had it at the end. Now we're back to kind of in the front of the meeting. So yeah, that might be something we might want to
No, we could do it
discuss-
twice, yeah, in the beginning and at
discuss
the end.
further. Yeah, during a work session
Yeah.
or something.
That's a really good idea.
So thank you for those comments.
It's a good idea, Lisa.
Okay. Any others?
Do I have any public comment from Zoom? I don't see anything coming in.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to item number 6A, Fountain Creek Watershed.
You have something in the packet for that. So this is a annual contribution that the town has made to the Fountain Creek Watershed Flood Control and Greenway District. They have a small ask each year from each of their jurisdictions here. This funding request has not changed since last year. It would be for the amount of $322 for the year, and that supports their work in the community. Certainly, they come out and do Creek Week here locally, put in a ton of volunteer hours. It pays dividends.
And so the motion would be to approve the town contribution to Fountain Creek Watershed.
This would be for fiscal year 2024.
Trustees, any questions, comments? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'm trying to find the right wording for this, but we want, let's see, I move that we approve the Fountain Creek Watershed 2024 budget proposal. Is that essentially what it is?
Yeah, that works.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the Fountain Creek Watershed 2024 budgetary request. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to item 6B, contract approval for Integral Recoveries, Inc.
Yeah, this contract is for a collection service. The biggest use for this is going to be really to support the marshal's office and parking tickets, especially. The guys are out there, they don't have contact with the person, you know, you don't meet them. We had like a ticket come in on a rental car, stuff like that, and they don't get paid, they go to court, and then the next court date comes. And I'm like, do I put it on the docket? What do I do? This was recommended to me by our prosecutor, and I think it's pretty favorable. They charge 125% of the original amount, and they keep 25%, which means it's basically a no-cost contract. So they would recover and collect our full amount, and then, you know, tax the person that 25%. I thought this part was really good too. The indemnity, there's an indemnity clause. So they hold us harmless in this. It's like almost worded backwards to how I've seen most contracts. So it can also be canceled 30 days notice by either party. So.
Okay, trustees, questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this one.
Motion to approve the contract for Integral Recoveries Incorporated.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Do we approve the contract approved for Integral Recoveries Incorporated? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to item 6C, the contract approval for Kiowa Engineering.
So this is the contract and for Kiowa Engineering Services. This is to support the planning efforts of the town. It would allow, it's basically a pass-through agreement to where anybody requiring or any projects requiring engineering services could be verified by the contractor or the engineering firm. Ms. Simmons, the town's contract planner, is online to be able to answer any questions that you might have on this. The town has worked with Kiowa in the past, so this is just reviving that contract. Julia, do you have anything to add there?
No, I think that's pretty, you said it all. And if trustees have any questions, I'm happy to receive those.
Any questions for Ms. Simmons?
Trustees, any questions, comments? I will say this is the same firm that we had to use when we built our place back in 2020. So hearing no questions, comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the contract with Kiowa Engineering.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the contract for Kiowa Engineering. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposed, motion carries. Our next item is item 6 Delta. A company called Respect, a reference request we received from them. They are the entity that we are currently working with on our broadband grant. And Becky, did you want to say any more?
No, I would just say that so far, we're at the very beginning of this project, but so far they've been really responsive. They've done a good job at project management and leading this effort forward. seem to be very accountable, timely with their communications.
They originally contacted me wanting a reference, and of course I said personally, yes, but if you want one from the town, I said it needs to come in front of the board. So if they're okay with that, we can give them a positive reference based upon our experiences so far. So are there any questions or comments?
So the action that we would be taking or would be approving this?
It'd be,
Authorizing staff
Authorize.
to provide a letter of support
that,
or
thank
a
you.
letter of reference.
Okay, I'll move that we advise staff to do so. To provide a reference for respect.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we authorize staff to approve a letter of reference for a respect company. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposed, the motion carries. Our next item is item 6E, a presentation from Team Rubicon. Yeah, you make sure you push the blue button. You get the blue light.
I have a blue light.
You're good to
Okay.
go.
Good evening. I'm Dave Larrabee. I'm with Team Rubicon. I'm here with Steve Marzullo. We're a local disaster response, humanitarian response organization. And I want to make good use of your time tonight, but I also want to give you some background on what we do, what we have done recently, and then start a conversation about some things that we might be able to do to help out your community. I don't intend to go through all the slides, but we'll use them as we need them. Okay, so if we just get the first one up there, that's go to the who is Team Rubicon one? That would be a great one. So it's the third one over.
We're a little clunky on our tech
Yeah,
here,
it's okay.
please.
I took my mouse plug out to put the USB in, so.
Don't worry. Yeah, so let me tell you, I'll tell you who we are and we'll just use the slides as needed, okay? So we're a veterans-based disaster group and we've been active since 2010. I've been active with them since 2014. Basically, the reason why we're here is talk to you about the fire mitigation capabilities that we have as an organization. Most recently, we were in Teller County, up in Florissant. We planned a 3-day operation there in October and it snowed on the 3rd day. So we did a 2-day operation up there, but we ended up having about 30 people the first day and about 60 people the second day. We brought in sawyers. We had people running chippers. We had debris removal crews. We partnered with the community up there to use heavy equipment to move the debris. And then we also partnered with a local firewood donation group, Colorado Energy Outreach, I believe it was called, otherwise known as the Old Man Group up there. And they loaded up a bunch of the firewood, took it away and are now passing out around the community. So we're a nationally recognized organization. We train on a number of different skills. The ones that most interest you here are the fire mitigation skills. I'm a chainsaw instructor. We train to the Bureau of Land Management standards, and we operate under those standards from a safety standpoint. We also have very strict chipper training as well. Up in Teller County, we use 2 of the county chippers to run the program up there. We ended up removing probably several hundred trees from the properties up there in the 2 days. So we've been operating around the state for the past 2 years pretty extensively. 2 years ago, we stayed up in Grant County for 6 weeks based on or supported by a Red Cross grant that we had up there. And we had 60 people up there every day for 45 to 50 days or so, doing 83 acres of mitigation up there. So I got some slides to see some of the stuff that we've done, but we do everything from the initial home ignition zone assessments to making an agreement with the homeowners and then doing some of the follow-up work depending on how much capability we have. And of course, we're juggling resources, we're juggling weather, we're juggling personnel availability and those types of things. But that's the capability that we have. We've been attending some conferences together and I ran into Becky and we were talking about this. And she asked if I come up here and talk to you about capability, because I know that you all have been doing some extensive planning on fire mitigation as well. So with the remaining time you have tonight, if you have questions for me about what I told you, and if you want to talk a little bit about where your plans are and whether or not we might be able to help you, then that's my suggestion.
Yeah, we still have several acres that need mitigation, both public and private. Assume you work both.
Yes, we do.
And you carry your own insurance?
We do.
Okay. Is there information that we can have here at Town Hall that we can supply to our residents who are in need of, say, obtaining mitigation work?
Yes, there is, but what I want to make sure that we do, because we need to be able to work through you rather than through the individual residents, because we have a fairly formal process for it too. When we go onto a homeowner's property, we have a right of entry form that we use for access. We want to make sure that we're not dealing independently with homeowners. We want to deal with whatever your plan is for the community.
Okay, because yeah, like right now, I mean, like, we've just updated our codes on especially like dead and dying trees. The town itself has several acres that will need to be mitigated and, well, not only mitigated, but have dead and dying trees removed. A lot of our issues, I think most recent ones seem to be coming in with where we have like power lines and trying to get the coordination with all the, like the utilities and whatnot, in case we need to drop a line or something.
So typically what we'll do is we'll find a lead for the community, and then we work under the FEMA rule set. So we have they have mission planning teams, and we have the command structure, the same that everybody's familiar with, integrating. So we'll start the planning process with someone, and then we'll talk about where your needs are, what type of resources would be coming from the community, what type of resources we would be able to bring in. And then, what are your priorities? Because we were up in Steamboat. We worked with the utility company up there. We worked with Manitou on their utilities. We've done individual home assessments in various communities. And then with Granby, we did one of their town parks. So I heard someone talking about the cottonwood trees, earlier, sort of like the self-limiting tree of the state, and doing work on those. So we could talk about your needs, a plan, timing, and those types of things if you're interested in working with us.
Yeah, and assuming you provide costing information to town staff and
for us, so we are free of charge. What we do is that was a good reaction. What we do is we do cost sharing in a sense of, like, so in Teller County, they provided the chipper. We provided the chipper crew. We paid for our own gas and food. They provided the billeting. They provided dinner for us Saturday night, that type of thing. It's just, we kind of integrate as part of the community. We have some really good sponsors that know that we're doing fire mitigation. They know that we can't do much. Our team can't do much during the fire or after the fire. We can do a lot before it. So they're supportive for us helping communities out.
almost sounds like we need to get these guys together with fire mitigation committee and start.
Yes, if you could provide, I'm the liaison for the fire mitigation committee. If you could provide your contact information.
Yes, I brought a bunch
That
of cards.
that'd be great.
And I'll leave this
I'll forward it on.
presentation so anyone can take a look at it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nick is our linking member to the fire mitigation, so
Okay.
yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It's a fun team to be on.
Yeah.
We do have some steep slopes. Do you try to do anything on steep slopes?
We named one of our operations Rage Against the Ravines, so we're used to working in ravines.
Okay, yes, we have those too.
Yeah, we recognize the terrain around here.
Yeah, we have a lot of private properties of people who need assistance. Of course, as you know, it's pretty expensive, to mitigate a lot of people's backyards here. So that would be outstanding because it's like a BB at a freight train right now. What we're doing, essentially in the town, and people need to start mitigating their backyards. But again, like the resources, it's expensive. So
yeah, very exciting.
And you'll notice one of the things that we'll leave behind on the slides, we talk about vulnerability. So we try to prioritize based on social vulnerability index. Also, elderly, also fire risk. So when we talk about vulnerabilities, it runs a spectrum of things. And that's how we prioritize our programs.
Excellent. Thank you for coming in. I
welcome, sir.
really appreciate it. Very exciting news. Okay, our next item is item 6G, the Rhino Rock estimate.
So in your packet here, you have is an estimate for emergency repair work for the electric at Gazebo Lake. As you know, the electrical has been failing on the island itself at the gazebo. We believe that that is a result of the line being run outside of conduit, without conduit, under the ground and under the lake. This would be an emergency measure to provide electricity back to, and a breaker box, and rerun that electric from actually, I believe, the restroom pole to the lakeside of Gazebo Bridge, which would allow us to essentially plug in there and get Christmas lights up and going. This is not the full scope of the project, as the bridge to the island will be repaired in 2024. So that tie-in to the actual gazebo island itself would occur then, but it also will include additional conduit to where that service can be upgraded to where we can do more there, plug-in bands, etc.
Okay, trustees, questions, comments?
Are we gonna have to redo the same thing with the reconstruction project? Is that?
No, absolutely not. We built this project, the scope, around knowing that that bridge was going to be replaced. So this will be the service line up to the bridge, and then they'll be able to tie in electric. We'll have to look at that piece for 2024 when that project is redone. The tying in and the upgrade of the electrical service on the lake itself, there, or at the gazebo itself. There are a couple of considerations with that project as far as making sure, or looking at providing electric there for the fountain, the aerator also. Historically, that's been plugged into a different area, but with the cord requirements on that current aerator, it looks as though plugging into the island might be a little bit better option there. And the wiring at the gazebo itself is quite old. It does need to be upgraded. This is to help with some safety measures.
So this falls under an emergency rather than putting it out for bid and things like that?
This is within the scope for to be approved without going out to bid within the cost thresholds. However, it's coming before you tonight because this is not something that was budgeted in your 2023 budget.
Do we have a time frame?
He's able to begin upon approval.
And the length of time that the job may take?
He's aware of the date that the Christmas lights come on. Yeah, so we looked at trying to get several different electricians out here. It was challenging. Everybody's really booked up. The way that it's being done here is more of a proposal that includes the dirt work and contracting out that electrical. The contractor here does have a relationship with an electrician that can come in and get it done with permitting.
Thank you.
Trustees, additional questions, comments? If hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
A motion to approve Rhino Rock estimate, the contract.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the contract for Rhino Rock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Hearing no opposed, motion carries. And I apologize, I didn't have my head tilted right for my progressive lens. I skipped the oath of office, item 6F. So Andy, if you would come on up, we'll administer the oath of office.
Guys, this is Andy Tran. He actually went to the police academy with Will. So they're very familiar with each other. So after the oath, Will's gonna pin Andy's badge on him, or in this case, Velcro his badge onto him. I, Andy Tran, do affirm that I will support. Do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the State of Colorado. The Constitution of the State of Colorado. The laws of the State of Colorado. The laws of the State of Colorado. And the ordinances of the town of Green Mountain Falls. And the ordinances of Green Mountain Falls. And will faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Marshal. And will faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Marshal. For the town of Green Mountain Falls. For the town of Green Mountain Falls. Upon which I am about to enter to the best of my ability. For which I am about to enter with the best of my ability. Congratulations, welcome aboard. Thank you, sir. Sir? You go. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to item 7A, the Pikes Peak Area Council on Aging.
So this is a request that we have some town representation to sit on the Pikes Peak Area Council on Aging. I know that this is something that has been forwarded to the Church of the Wildwood, and Pastor Darlene is actively seeking somebody to sit on this and represent the town, but wanted to bring it before you all in case you knew of somebody that you think would be a good fit for this as well.
Okay, any comments, trustees? I'm glad to see Pastor Darlene engaging and helping us out with this.
So if somebody needs information about, things like the, what type of commitment it is, time involved, who would they contact? The contact person, this Melissa Martz, or?
Yeah, Melissa's on there, and I do have an email. I think that it was pretty minimal, monthly for a couple of hours of meetings.
Thank you.
Anything else? I do want to thank all the committees for gathering their budgetary information and presenting it to us. It's unfortunate that we're having to kind of pause until the state, basically defines if we're going to be impacted or not. It's unfortunate, but I really appreciate what the committees have done. It's a lot of work putting that together for us. And, it's something that we need, obviously. But yes, I really do want to make a statement, formally recognizing the effort that they've put forward. It's much appreciated. With that, we'll move on to item 8. Any additional correspondence?
None from my desk.
Trustees? Nick's
Just-
got last minute one.
Yeah, just a real
Go
quick
ahead.
one. What would it take for us to adopt something that, for instance, Lisa Bonwell had suggested that we can have a discussion with the public after the meeting? Well, around this time.
I think that you can certainly have that discussion at any point in time. We can amend the agenda. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wouldn't take a vote. It would just
No,
be
we
kind of an
just-
agreement between us.
Yeah.
I like communication, so I think that's
Yeah.
as much as we
Were you
can.
thinking before and after?
Yeah, exactly how it's set up, at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then,
So something different.
and then right now.
3 minutes for the
Yeah.
time and then afterwards is kind
Yeah,
of
why
a
not?
free,
I don't think we're gonna ever have like,
free form.
a dozen person, people coming up to
Yeah.
the podium at the end of the meeting. I mean, I'm okay with it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's always been kind of a, I don't know, awkward and maybe easy to misinterpret it as, as a member of the public making a comment, because it's really not open for discussion at the time. I mean, occasionally there are comments, but it's pretty rare. So I think that it needs to be clear that that what we're talking about is something different than public comment, that it's more of a forum for discussion.
Yeah,
Okay.
the reason we moved it up to the front was because I think folks were wanting to give us information before we actually acted on something.
Sure.
Instead of after. And what you're proposing is basically a before and after.
Yeah.
Um,
Just so they can make a comment on what they've heard through the agenda of the proceeding, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like
Is
that,
it a comment or is it discussion?
well, a
Yeah.
discussion opens the floor up to like debate, and I don't know if,
Yeah,
I don't know if that's, maybe baby steps, maybe we just for comment right
comment. I
now.
would say baby steps. Let's do comment.
I mean, is that for comment? You like that idea?
Lots of times you sit here and listen to what you're saying, and a lot of ideas come up.
Huh.
And it's not whether or not you've already made a decision.
Right.
that can-
Okay. So comment,
Yeah.
not discussion, comment.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I think we could start with comment.
think start with comment.
Discussion and take a lot of time.
Yeah,
But
because discussions would get,
it's very one-sided.
right.
Okay.
Okay. So the
Okay.
beginning and at the end,
Beginning and end.
comment.
And I should have allowed Bo to talk on this as the clerk. This is typically something that the clerk administers is the preparation of your agendas. It's one of his duties by statute. He did receive some guidance from Judy during his training with her on some best practices and some reasons why. I think that an appropriate next step would be to review those, send out that information to you all for consideration at your next meeting. There's different reasons for having it before or after.
Yeah, I think it would be good to keep it at the front of the meeting, and I'm totally open to adding additional discussion or public comment later in, but
Yeah.
she had some good points and I had some other feedback where, we make the agenda public, people review it and they have ideas and they're hoping to pass those on to you and have the floor for a moment before you guys take any action on them. And I think that's important too, for other reasons. So I welcome adding it. I would just shy away from moving it back to the bottom and taking it away from the top of the
Yeah,
agenda.
I think what we're talking about is leaving it at the beginning and having it
Yep.
open for comment at the end. So
And I'm a
twice.
fan. I think that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
I think that's,
Mhm.
so we're happy.
Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thanks for that suggestion. That
Okay.
was great.
Sounds like a thumbs up.
All right.
So. Okay, we're at the end and my screen just went dark. It is 7:49. Going, gone. We are adjourned.
Hmm.
That's right.
Good night, Zoom. Thank you.